So, Kevin Willmott, welcome to Amsterdam.
It's great to be here.
You are nominated for the Lifetime Achievement Award at the Septimius event happening today and also the gala tomorrow with films such as Black Klansman, The Five Bloods, 9th Street, and also being an Oscar winner for Best Adapted Screenplay. So we welcome you here and congratulations on your award.
Great, it's great to be here.
Is this your first time in Amsterdam?
It is my first time in Amsterdam. It's a beautiful, amazing city.
How does it feel to be of normal height for the first time in your life?
People are tall here, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
You know, I've noticed that kind of, you know, just coming off the plane here. A lot of folks are tall here.
Yeah, everyone here plays basketball.
That's great.
So, your films mostly deal with the African American experience, but we're in Europe. So why should a person who did not grow up in America or is not Black still watch your films, and why are they still of importance?
Well, I think in a lot of ways the Black experience in America is kind of the experience of people of color all over the world. And I think specifically the kind of the Black American experience in America, just that whole dynamic, is you see that kind of all over the world now. You know, with people coming from all over the world to different countries. I mean, it's a global world now. I mean, people live everywhere, and some of the problems that have existed in America you see in Europe now. And some of the challenges that America has, I think you see in Europe now. And so there's a lot of things that we can learn from our films, I think, that speak to Europe in a lot of different ways.
I see. That is a very good answer. I have another deep question for you. Because I was reading up on you and I saw that you worked for quite a while before you had a film that really broke out.
Yeah.
So, and you also went to NYU for your graduate degree, is that correct?
Yes.
So I was wondering, who were your greatest influences as a writer or a filmmaker when you were growing up? Did you have one specific person maybe who was like, oh, I saw them and I said to myself, maybe I could do this as well?
Well, it probably would be Gordon Parks. You know, Gordon Parks was the first African American to direct a studio film in Hollywood, and he's from Fort Scott, Kansas, and he did The Learning Tree and he did Shaft, and he was a photographer for Life magazine, and you know, he was just a total Renaissance man. And when I saw Shaft and The Learning Tree as a kid, that's when I said, you know, I could maybe do that. I could maybe be like him. And he was a great role model because he was from Kansas, and he's Black. And you know, you need people you can identify with, that you can that kind of tells you in various ways that you can be what they are and you can do what they're doing. And that was Gordon Parks for me.
That is very beautiful. Do you think that you are now becoming a role model since you're getting the Lifetime Achievement Award for future Black writers or actors?
Well, I get a lot of people that send me emails and say things like that. It's very you know, it's a wonderful thing. I mean, you have a responsibility though that comes with that, and you have to try to do the best work you can, and then you have to try to support people as much as you can as well. And you know, I teach, so I try to support my students in various ways.
Oh, you teach? Where do you teach?
I teach at the University of Kansas.
Oh, going back to the hometown.
Yes, indeed.
Bringing it back.
I didn't get very far from the farm there.
Like, yeah, no NYU. I'm going back to Kansas. That is very cool. Minutes. Oh, in Bachemere? Oh, sorry. That's Dutch. Is there anything in Amsterdam that you're looking forward to doing?
Well, I just think that Amsterdam's just got such a rich history. You know, being a film guy, I grew up watching a lot of movies that were about Holland and Amsterdam and
Which ones?
Oh, you know, it's just a lot of World War II movies.
Oh yeah, that's the only thing we're good at when it
Yeah.
comes to films.
But you know, the thing though, when I watch those movies, especially when you get older, you kind of see kind of past that. I mean, obviously Anne Frank and Rembrandt and you know, Van Gogh and so many things that that you know the Netherlands and Amsterdam is noted for. But I just want to just see the city. You know, the city, just the architecture of the city. I love the canals and
how all the buildings are
all
slanted.
the buildings. You know, the cobblestone streets. You know, that's beautiful stuff.
Yeah, we don't have that in Kansas or New York City. Oh, Old Amsterdam. You went to New Amsterdam for your schooling, and now you're in Old Amsterdam.
That's right. That's
So
right. That's right.
You get to see how we did it. And oh, I have a lot. I asked all my good questions. All my deep questions. Now I just have filler. Is there a movie that you would recommend to start with your collection as a writer, or just an American classic movie that maybe kids who are of the streaming age do not know about that you would want them to see?
Sure. Well, I have a little movie I've made called Destination Planet Negro. And it's a very small film, and I literally made the movie for about $7,000, and just made it with my friends, and I just really love that film because it's small and I didn't have to ask permission of anything. I got to say the things I wanted to say. I didn't have to, you know, talk to anybody else about it, you know, it's a great film for young people who want to be a filmmaker to kind of see in terms of just getting your friends together and doing something and embracing your limitations and just kind of doing your thing. And so I would recommend that film.
Okay, that is a pretty fantastic recommendation, because now, especially in America, film school is like $80,000 per year. And for $80,000, you can make your own like tiny film, and isn't that the best way to learn?
Yes, indeed.
Oh my gosh, you talk very fast. You know that, right?
You want me to stretch it out a little bit?
You have to make it slow. It has to be 15 minutes.
Oh, okay.
They're killing me over here. So, is there any burning question you want me to ask you?
I can talk more about some of the other questions you want me to.
All right. Which one?
Why don't you just give me the first one again?
Your films all focus on the Black American experience. Why do you think it's important for non-Americans or for Americans to learn more about this issue?
Well, you know, one of the things there's a lot of things happening in America right now, and there was a coup d'état, you know. It was a coup d'état, and you know, there is, you know, obviously COVID was you know, hit us very hard, and the gun crisis is kind of out of control there right now. And you know, we made films. You know, Spike and I made a film called Chirac that's about gun violence, and so I think that there's just you know, there's a connection between movies and trying to speak to a lot of these issues that are, you know, they're very much American issues, but they touch the rest of the world as well. And you know, the one that I think really speaks to the world right now is, you know, when you have a multiracial democracy. When you have a multiracial democracy, it's a very difficult thing because you have people from all over the world, different cultures, different backgrounds, different religions, different beliefs, different races. And you know, people, you know, countries like the Netherlands and America, you know, they embrace people from all over the world, and it's a beautiful thing. But what comes with that is challenges. You know, it's hard to get a bunch of people from different parts of the world to live together in peace and harmony. And so the outside forces come in and they like to kind of, you know, make it harder. And I would say that was probably Mr. Donald Trump. And so, you know, that whole dynamic that you see now in other countries in Europe, and the threat of the Donald Trumps in the world is a real threat to multiracial democracies. And so in that sense, I think the world right now can really learn from what we're going through in the United States.
Yes, I really think that what the world has gone through, all its turmoil, it's being really reflected in our art of people questioning, oh, do I really find this important? Do I really want to give all my time and energy to this? And not working like the working strikes as well. And
Right.
just like trying to take their time back and saying this is not worth it. But for someone who wants to get into film, an aspiring writer, maybe director, actor, what advice would you give to them to start in this world of media where now there is just so much stuff constantly being blasted in your face?
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things that I did, and that, you know, you always make a lot of mistakes. One of the things I think I did right was I really kind of made my own films, and I told my own stories. And when you do that, you kind of get to develop your own voice. And before you kind of get taken away by the studio people and they, you know, all the big opportunities that can provide, it's really important to spend some time on yourself, on the things that matter to you, on the things that you want to say about art, and develop your own style and develop your own approach to film and storytelling. And so I was really glad that I made a lot of small films before I kind of had a big break, because I think those smaller films really kind of enabled me to make the bigger films. And it gave me a voice. It really kind of helped me to develop my approach to the world, what I believe in, how I see the world, you know, all of those things. And a lot of times young people kind of, you know, they want to just get there, you know, and obviously, you know, everybody's broke and everybody's trying to survive, and everybody's, you know, like I say, you come out of film school, you got a big debt that's on top of your head. But even with all that, it's important to try to spend some time and develop your own voice, and not allow that to kind of take over and really kind of break your spirit in that sense.
So maybe it was a blessing in disguise that like you didn't go straight away to Hollywood, because then you think that your morals might have been corrupted and the money would have like made you make a film that maybe you didn't think spoke to who you were or what you wanted to create.
Yeah, I think, you know, the other part of it is that, you know, like, you know, working with Spike, for instance, making my small movies really kind of enabled me to work with Spike, because, you know, I made a film called CSA, Confederate States of America, and it's a crazy movie about what happens when the South wins the Civil War. And, you know, and Spike called me. I didn't have to call him. So he heard about the film, he wanted to see the film, he really liked it. And then after that, we started to work together. And so I always tell young people especially to do their thing. You know, it's not about trying to hook up with someone or network so much as it is trying to find a way to do your thing, tell your story. If you can tell your story and tell it well, then people call you. You know, the Spikes of the world, they end up calling you, and because they've heard about what you're doing and they want to support what you're doing. And also, I think, you know, people say, write what you know. You should also write what you believe in. You know, if you can kind of write something that matters, and then, you know, it usually stands the test of time.